Hello candidates, I am going to dictate you a passage from Progressive magazine. So please get ready for the dictation. The dictation will start after 15 seconds. In according constitutional status to the Nagarpalika, we are but responding to the joint resolution passed by the Central Council of Local Self-Government and the All India Council of Mayors pleading for the conferment of constitutional status on the urban local bodies. Ministers, mayors and other elected representatives of the opposition parties, including political parties represented in this House today and those that have run away, were represented in these bodies, ranging from the CPIM to the BJP and taking in much that lies in between. Official spokesmen of all these parties have again and again asked for constitutional recognition for the Nagarpalikas, as recently as in their representation to the National Commission on Urbanization. The Calcutta Corporation, headed by a CPIM mayor, argued that a country wedded to grassroots level democracy must bless its local institution with a constitutional status. They went on to say that this bold initiative would become much more meaningful if the roles, functions, responsibilities, and obligations of various levels of government are constitutionally defined. And I cannot resist quoting also their categorical conclusion that urban problems cannot be solved without giving local governments their rightful place in the country's constitutional framework itself. What has happened to change their minds? Let me phrase the question in a different way. What has happened to change their principles? Is it that they are getting too used to the company of those with diametrically opposed ideologies and those with no principle or ideology at all? We have heard the argument that there is no need for a constitutional amendment to bring democracy to the grassroots and endow power to the people. It has been argued that what is needed is political will. I respectfully submit that it takes more political will to amend the constitution than it does to pass a municipal law. I would also respectfully submit that our constitutional amendment creates the necessary political will where that will does not exist. There is no place in any of these for a holier than thou attitude. No party in India can claim an unblemished record in local self-government. Equally, there is no major political party in India which has not something to its credit in regard to local self-government. There are some Congress governments that have done better than others, though there are some shortfalls which can be rectified. Equally, there are opposition-run governments which have done sometimes better than others, sometimes worse, indeed sometimes better than their own past record, while sometimes falling short of their past achievement. Our approach to the Panchayati Raj and Nagarpalika bills has been non-partisan. We have drawn from the experience of all. We are beholden to all. We now bring forward a bill which makes democratic decentralization to the Nagarpalikas a keystone of the country's constitution, having discovered that there is an irresistible groundswell of popular support for the Panchayati Raj and Nagarpalika bills, one opposition party has now come up with an alternative proposal for a constitutional amendment. The proper forum to table such amendments would be the floor of this House, but since the party mainly responsible for these alternative proposals has failed its democratic responsibilities, their proposals cannot even be considered. Let us see what happens in the other house where, in glaring contrast to their behavior here, they cling like fixer to their seats. Then there are the pursuits of the opposition who say that in no circumstances will they have any truck with constitutional provisions for local self-government. Their purity is, however, called into question when one discovers that as recently as at the February this year, a joint meeting of the Central Council for Local Government and the All India Council of Mayors, the delegations of the Telugu Desam government of Andhra Pradesh, the Left Front government in Kerala and the Left Front government of West Bengal were all party to a resolution which demanded a constitutional amendment in relation to the Nagarpalikas. There are yet other constituents of the National Front who demanded at the 11th joint meeting a uniform statute for all Nagarpalikas in the country. How can there be a uniform statute without a constitutional amendment? And even assuming for a moment that this is achieved by some legal debate, the essential differences between a constitutional amendment and a municipal statute remains. The consequence of a constitutional amendment cannot be retraced. Our proposals would enshrine democracy in the local bodies in the most sacred basis of our modern nationhood. In contrast, any model bill will have no binding significance for state legislatures and no guarantee of outlasting changes of party or personality. If we really want democracy and devolution in the Nagarpalikas, there is no alternative to the kind of constitutional amendments we propose. The starting point of the Nagarpalika bill is the recognition that those who live in urban settlements are entitled to the same democratic rights and the same rights and responsibilities for development.